Good evening. A woman left housebound and chronically tired after contracting Lyme disease from a tick bite wants to warn others to be alert for the tiny parasites.
Vicky Hamlin from Cheltenham enjoyed life as a travel consultant and crisscrossed the globe on holidays and for work. But all that ended when she was struck down with a bacterial infection which some ticks can carry. Ken Goodwin now reports.
Vicky Hamlin was a fit and well young woman who toured the world both for holidays and her work as a travel specialist. But when she suffered a tick bite in 2016 and later went on to develop Lyme disease, a bacterial infection carried by the tiny parasites, all that ended.
I was actually in hospital a lot, like I was collapsing, blacking out, fainting, having all these really unusual symptoms like mini seizures, and just kept being discharged from hospital, being told there was nothing wrong.
Vicky is on a cocktail of medication. This is just one day's worth, and she's totally confined to her home in Cheltenham.
It's gone from such extremes to, such an outgoing, healthy, active person to not being able to walk more than, 20 metres, kind of like a former shell. I think with this, for me, obviously, there's daily loss. There's, I'm kind of grieving all the time, like loss of your old life, your career, like so many different things, but also, like, to some extent, with your family, they've lost you, they've lost the person that you used to be. So, yeah, it's really hard.
Vicky wants to raise awareness of the condition and warn others to act immediately if they find a tick or a bite which produces a red bullseye type rash. Not all ticks carry Lyme disease, but early treatment with antibiotics can almost certainly stop it in its tracks. Her brother's running a series of marathons to try to raise funds for Cordwell Lyme Charity and create awareness.
It's heartbreaking, and we run a patient information and advice service, so I do get to speak to quite a few patients, and hearing these stories is never gets easy, and I want to be able to give them that magic answer, to say, right, this is what you need to do and this is how you can get help on the NHS. But as with Vicky in her situation, a lot of patients feel they've got no choice but to pay for kind of expensive private treatment that's sometimes experimental, sometimes doesn't work.
For now, though, Vicky hopes to get through the physical and mental anguish with positive thinking and by writing down her feelings in the form of poetry.
You have made me a prisoner in so many ways, but I will continue to fight and make it hard for you to stay. There's no way I'm going to let you get the better of me, and one day you'll be the prisoner and I will be free.
Ken Goodwin, ITV News, Cheltenham.
Well, joining me now is Julia Knight from Lyme Disease UK. Julia, thank you for joining us. Such a devastating situation that Vicky has found herself in. Many people watching this will be asking, what can I do to prevent this? What's your advice?
Most important thing to prevent Lyme disease is to be aware of it in the first place, because there's such a lack of awareness amongst the public about what an infected tick can do. So the best thing to do is be aware that ticks can carry this infection. Not all ticks carry it. So there's a list of prevention advice which is on our website, lymediseaseuk.com. If you're out and about in an area where you think you might pick up a tick, for instance, camping with your family, walking, hiking, insect repellent, wear insect repellent. If you're doing high risk activities, like if you're camping a lot, out in that environment a lot, consider treating your clothing with insect repellent. You can buy clothing that's pre-treated. Wear long sleeves and long trousers, not shorts and flip-flops out in the countryside.
So, Julia, all really good preventative measures, but what should you do if you do find a tick? I think a lot of people, their knee-jerk reaction might be just to pull the tick out. Is that what they should do?
No, definitely don't just pull it out. So there are two safe methods of removing a tick. One is with a tick remover, a tick tool that you can buy from countryside shops, vets, some pharmacies. They cost pennies, and follow the instructions on that tick tool. if you haven't got a tick tool, and I would suggest everybody buy one for their first aid kit, a pair of fine pointed tweezers, not blunt end tweezers, fine pointed tweezers, grasp the tick as close to your skin as possible. Don't grasp the tick, close to your skin as possible, pull upwards and it will come out.
Julia, we saw Vicky's piece there. Her life has been completely changed by Lyme disease. Is Lyme disease always as life-changing as it has been for her?
If Lyme disease is diagnosed promptly and treated quickly, many people go on to recover without long-term symptoms. The trouble is many cases get overlooked and misdiagnosed, and then you go on to have a long-term, very distressing illness.
Julia, thank you very much. Great advice from you this evening.
Thank you.